The whole notion of having to sit in the lotus position, chanting, or whatever it is, the idea of meditation as we've come to know it, why a lot of people are intimidated by meditating, is that they feel they have to go into some kind of ritual to meditate. And we're going to do another meditation after this and you'll know what I mean. But right now we're going to do the meditation that's about focusing on your breath. So put both of your legs down uncrossed. And I want you to feel yourself sitting in this chair that you're in, allowing yourself to surrender to this time that you're in, this moment, this meditation. Allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. Hear the sounds that you're hearing. I'm hearing the pool. I just heard a leaf fall behind me. Allow yourself to just be in the moment that you're in with total acceptance, an open heart, and non-judgment. And if a thought comes in, let it be, by focusing on taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I want you to feel your breath. Your breath is letting you know that that you're alive. There's nothing you have to do, but just allow yourself to be in the moment. And if the thoughts start to come in and are disrupting you being in the present moment, focus on your breath. Take a breath in and let it go. Know that your breath is always there. You are always breathing. If you're not breathing, you're not alive. And know that your breath will always let you know that you are in the present moment and that you are alive. Take a breath in and let it go. Let everything go that you're holding on to. Give yourself permission to just be in the now, in the presence of your aliveness, of your wholeness, of your well-being. This is your natural state. This is how we come into the world. This is real. Let your body feel any sensations it may be feeling. Feel the breeze that's coming your way. Any smells that you may be smelling, the flowers, hearing the birds, the water. Give yourself permission to be in this moment. It's your moment. It doesn't belong to anybody else but you. If your mind is active, bring your focus and your awareness back to your breathing. Feel your breath. Maybe you can feel your stomach rising and falling with every breath. Or maybe you feel your chest rising and falling with every breath. You are alive in this moment. This is the most alive you will ever be is right now, because this is the moment that you're in. Breathing in and breathing out. Surrender. Allow yourself to be free of the burdens of any thoughts. Release. Let them go. Breathing in and breathing out. Your breath is always there for you to focus on. Breathing in and breathing out. Release. Let go. There's nothing to hold on to in this moment. Nothing is that important to interfere with this moment of being alive and breathing. At any time of your day or your night, you can focus on your breath and release any thoughts that you have. Breathing in, breathing out. If you need to exhale and let go whatever you're holding on to with that exhalation, just let it go. Go deeper into your breath. Go deeper into letting go. Feel the energy around you. Feel the air being outside. The beauty of being alive. The gift of breathing, of remembering that we're very much alive. And surrendering to that gift. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back to the moment. And open your eyes. Did you feel your breath? Did you feel your breath? Was your mind busy? And you did it during the day.
Sure.
You can do that at any time. We are that powerful. We are in control of our mind. Our mind is not in control of us. We think that our thoughts are in control of us, but they're not. That's why when we start to become more mindful and become aware of the thoughts that occupy us, it takes practice. It takes practice.
You were leading it, so I had to concentrate on your voice and everything you said. But you asked me to go do it now. Maybe I can, but.
Well, we're going to do another meditation. Does anybody have any thoughts that you want to?
It was really nice with the water sounds and the airplanes and just.
Did it feel good to?
Your voice along with all these other external factors. Really
Thank you. But when your mind was active, and maybe perhaps your mind got active at any given moment, when we focus back on our breath, and just breathing, which is like, you know how you take a really big breath in and you release that breath, it just feels so good. You know, there are times, like think about when we sigh. What is that? It's like, it's like a sigh of relief, do you know? So the always knowing that the thought, if you get distracted, you can always bring your awareness back to your breath. That's just there. It's a given. We're breathing. We don't even have to make ourselves breathe. We're just breathing. There's not a whole lot we have to do. All we need to do is just redirect, if a thought comes in, just to breathe in, breathe out. And the more your mind is, if your mind continues to be active, that's what will start to calm you down, is to start to focus on your breath, and that's what got you to go to sleep, is the focusing on the breath. If you focus on your breath, I try and tell people, I tell even Jeff, when we wake up in the middle of the night, we're very quick to just jump out of bed. If you stayed in bed and you focused on your breath, you know, that whole idea of counting sheep, which seems so archaic today, but the whole idea, if you stayed in bed and you said to yourself, the power of suggestion of thought, which is very auto-hypnotic, I want to go back to sleep. I am going to go back to sleep. If you said that to yourself like a mantra and kept focusing on your breath, you will most likely go back to sleep. But people don't even do that. They don't bother with that. They're quick to get out of bed and get on their computer and start texting and start to be busy. It's mindful awareness. It's making the commitment to doing it. And it's really, the most it will take. Mindfulness is easy. It just takes our making a commitment to it. That's the hard part. Well, that's why you have to find a time in your day where it's a quiet time for yourself. It has to be a time where you put it aside to get quiet. And I tell people, give yourself 10 minutes. You know, you don't need a half hour to meditate. Sit somewhere quiet, like even find a designated spot for yourself that really feels calming to you. Find a room in your house, find a chair, find a place that you can go to and go, okay, this is my quiet time. You know, it's interesting, when you said that, it made me think of children. Do you know, for those of us that are parents, but we've all been children, what you say to children when they're, you know, quiet yourself down. Quiet down, calm yourself down. You know, kids are bouncing off the walls, and so you have to learn very early on in life how to calm yourself down. That's part of the developmental stages of childhood and adolescence. It's like, you, as a parent, you have to separate from that child and not always be the one to calm them down. They have to begin to learn how to calm themselves down. And here we are as adults, and we still have that problem. And mindfulness is a wonderful way to be able to calm ourselves down, to find a skill, a technique, a tool. Because there's, in some ways, there's not a big difference between the part of us that can't calm ourselves down and that of a child. They just rely on us. They don't have the ability to do it themselves. Well, I like to think we have the ability to do that. That we can say to ourselves, you know what, I need to calm myself down a little bit here. I'm a little bit worked up here. So what is it that allows for that? Is taking time in your day, whether it's mindfulness or meditation. And I want to go into this other meditation, but I also want to say, because it's something that I know some of you already know this, and Alan and I talked about it earlier, I did write a blog for Huffington Post called Your Morning Cup of Tea or Coffee Can Be Your Meditation. And it really resonated for people. And what got me to write it is that so many people, I was teaching meditation to people, and they were saying, oh, I'm not good at meditating. I don't really like meditating. I can't find time in my day to meditate. And I said, well, do you drink tea or coffee or something first thing in the morning? Can you sit with that cup of tea or coffee and just be quiet with it? And the meditation that I'm going to have you do right now is going to show you how to do that, so that you can then do that with starting your morning. You don't have to rush through drinking your cup of tea or coffee. You can sit with your cup of tea or coffee and just really be with it. Feel the warmth of it. Feel the taste of it. Know that it's your quiet time with yourself, not to rush through drinking a cup of tea or coffee. I'm actually wanting to start like a meditation at Starbucks. I've decided. I really do want to. Yeah, I want to start a meditation class. I did actually, in Starbucks. It's like, because everybody's sitting there and they're on their computer, and I said, why don't we all just meditate together while we're having our coffee? So on that note, are there any other questions as far as where we're at with the mindfulness so far? Okay, we're going to go right into another meditation because I think you're all very primed for that. This is a Vipassana meditation. Vipassana, Alan, you can chime into this, is a Buddhist meditation of insight. It's an insight meditation as far as focusing on what's the most real and in the moment and making that your object of focus, correct? Okay, so I'm going to pass around raisins, and each of you is going to take a box of raisins. Alan? I think we're going to need more than that, so why don't you pass that around? Okay, so everybody has their raisins. Okay, so what I want you to do is to open your box of raisins, if you haven't already, and be very aware of yourself opening the box of raisins. And I want you to take out a raisin. Don't eat it. Nyla, you're so cute. You're going to eat another one. Okay, so I want you to take the raisin. I want you to hold it between your two fingers. And I want you to look at this raisin like it just dropped from Mars, like you've never seen a raisin before. And really look at it. Really stare at it. Look at the texture of it. Look at the creases in it. Think about it. What is a raisin? It was a grape, right? So it's a shriveled grape. And just how small it is. Okay? Take the time to really look at it, to gaze at it, and roll it around between your fingers. Look at the color of it. Is it lighter in some areas? Is it darker in other areas? Does it feel funny between your fingers? You can close your eyes even and roll it around between your fingers and just think about, like, what does this feel like? Like, what if I didn't even look at this and know what it looked like? What comes up for me? What conjures up in my mind about this feeling? Look at the shape of it. Each raisin is different. It's asymmetrical, it's crooked, it's kind of funny looking, isn't it? You can turn the raisin over between your fingers, just keep exploring it and checking out its texture. And by closing your eyes, really, which I would encourage you to do with this meditation, is it enhances your senses. It's letting your senses have the experience. So you certainly can use your sense of seeing as well, but you can also close your eyes and let your other senses have the experience. Now I want you to take the raisin and put it under your nose and smell it. What does it smell like? It smells like a raisin. Does it smell sweet? Really inhale it. Really taking a deep inhalation of it. Does it smell like something else? Does it smell fragrant? Does it smell like it tastes? Does it smell sweet? Does it smell savory? Really, really smell it. Let yourself just be with that smell. Now, take the raisin away from your nose and be very mindful of what's holding the raisin. Your hand, your fingers, your arm is in charge of where the raisin is going to go next. So you are mindfully holding the raisin. Everything you're doing right now is with complete awareness of the experience you are having with this raisin. So now bring it up to your mouth. Maybe you want to, I don't know, you could touch the raisin against your mouth. See what that feels like. Like, does it tickle your mouth? And then I want you to put the raisin in your mouth. And feel it. Feel it in your mouth, on your tongue. You can maybe roll it around in your mouth. You can, don't chew it just yet or swallow it. Now you're just experiencing what it feels like in your mouth. Does it taste sweet? Is it sweet like it smelled? Don't rush. And if you're rushing, slow yourself down. Bring yourself back to the focus of the awareness of the raisin. Let that be your focus. Let it slow you down. So now it's in your mouth and you're tasting it. And now you're going to bite into it and take a bite of the raisin. And I want you to really chew it slowly, as small as it is. Take your time. Do not rush. Allow yourself to really chew. And you might want to chew it until there's practically nothing there. Or maybe you just want to chew it a couple of times. But as many times as you chew, do it with total awareness and without rushing. And then you're going to swallow it. And you're going to feel it going down your throat and tasting it as you swallow. And I want you to just be with it. Be with the feeling that you're feeling right now, having tasted, smelled, touched something that you've eaten mindfully. This experience that you're having and have had right now is mindful eating. And you will know this. You will now know what mindful eating is. And at any time when you're having a meal and you're feeling like you're really not tasting it, or you're rushing eating it, and you really have time to spare, that you really don't have to get somewhere, you're going to remember what mindful eating is, which is this. You have just had the experience of mindful eating. And once we have an experience, it stays with us. And we can recall that experience at any time. Be with it. Just allow yourself to surrender to having given yourself the gift of mindful eating. This is your time. Remember, mindfulness is taking time for yourself to be the most alive that you can be in the moment that you're in, and nothing is worth giving that up for. It is a gift to being alive. And it is our sovereign right to allow ourselves to be gifted with being alive. It's something that each and every one of us deserves. Later on in your day, when you find yourself swept up in the current of your life, take a couple of moments to remember this feeling that you're feeling right now, that you felt earlier when you were doing the breathing meditation. Know that you can recall that feeling and that knowing. It is now a part of your inner knowing. And that if you need to go back to this moment at any time later today or before you go to sleep, that you can call upon that feeling, that it's there for you. And when you're ready, bring your focus and your attention back to the moment of now. Anybody want to share what that raisin did for them? Allie.
I've not eaten anything sweet in over a week. I've not had any sugar, any fruit, any wheat, anything. And so it was...
These are organic raisins, by the way.
It was so interesting. Thank God. It was such an amazing experience. First of all, just slowing down, I felt so much compassion for the raisin, like the size of it, and like, you know, such an appreciation for how little it is. Like when you said, like, notice how small it is, and there was just like a moment where I just like, I almost could have burst out crying. Like I was so touched by this little existence of this raisin, I was like, wow, how many people and how many moments do I miss in my life where I don't take it, like taking in your lover, like taking in your, I was like, this is like such a sensual experience, because it actually reminded me of something very sensual. And it just, I was like, wow, how many moments have I not, where I consider myself a pretty present person and a 20+ year meditator, and how am I, what am I, like, how many moments am I not present to, you know? And it was just like really able to take it in. And then when it was in my mouth, and the sweetness, when it burst in my mouth, it was like extra sweet, I think, because of the, you know, not knowing we were going to do this exercise. That it actually, how much time it actually took it consciously to slow down and actually chew the raisin. And so many times I rushed through, and I'm sure my digestion would be a lot better if I was slowing down my eating more. So it was actually like a profound, thank you so much. And I'm excited. I'm going to keep these in my purse, and I was thinking I should probably keep these
yeah,
in
it's
my
a great
purse.
thing to do, to carry around a box of raisins. You know, it's a nice reminder to have.
Yeah, and like
know?
you said, like no raisin's ever going to seem the same to me for the rest of my life. Like I thank you for reinforcing that moment, because it's like, you know, really, like if you profoundly have your change vein experience, it's like, it really, it's not like a fleeting moment in your life. Like it actually registers in your DNA.
And let the raisin be a metaphor for everything that we do. I mean, it makes me, I know you just recently surfed. Ellie just recently surfed. So think about the next time you surf, how much more aware you're going to be. You're going to be even that much more aware and that much more present, you know, doing anything that we do, any experience that we have. If you can remember the raisin, that just, your senses are, you use the word sensual, our senses are so alive. They're like, you know, I want to taste the best of what I can experience. I want to hear, you know, everything is music, really. You know, we have these amazing senses that want to appreciate every experience that we have. At least take the time for the ones that are worth it. We all know, again, we're busy. Stuff happens in life that isn't about just the exquisite moments. But if we don't make time for that, we miss so much. We miss out on so many moments that we're never going to get again. And we all know how fast life is moving. We will never get those moments again. A moment passed without really being present with it is a moment that we can never relive. So we know that there are plenty of those moments that really we're not going to be very mindful with just because of the nature of our lives. That much more reason to take the time to make the moments that we can be more mindful with, to take the time to do that. Such a reminder. Mindfulness calms you down to be able to say, it would be like somebody's talking to you and you're driving and you're cooking and you have to be somewhere. Instead of getting anxious and feeling like, oh, I'm reacting to this, like, okay, I'm going to be mindful that they're talking to me, I got to get dinner on the table, this hasn't happened yet. The more mindful we become, we actually find ourselves like we're eating that raisin. We're like, it suddenly becomes, you know what, I'm really present with everything that's going on around me. I'm not reacting to it. I think I'm okay. It might be a little stressful, but you know what, I'm not freaking out. I think, yeah, you are. You have an awareness of everything that's happening. You know, it's almost like when you fall, you know, and you're falling, it's in slow motion. I'm falling. You have an awareness that something's happening. And we don't plan for that. That happens when something is happening that has taken us by surprise. And that is kind of, if you can sort of understand that idea, that is really stepping outside of yourself. That's what happens when something like that occurs. So we can have the same overview of ourselves. I mean, we really can. We can, you know, not reacting when you're in a dynamic with somebody and there's a lot of heated energy and it escalates and there's maybe controversy, to be able to just almost, I mean, it can make you laugh in a way. You can go, wow, there's a lot of energy going on here, or this person's really upset. Have you ever laughed rather than gotten caught up in a fight with somebody?
Step back, you're almost watching.
Yes.
And you think to yourself, I can get in this. It's like there's that moment where you can go, I can just go, I can walk in
Exactly.
this range, or I can stay a little bit removed.
A little neutral.
And dissipate it a little bit.
Right. There's a neutrality. There's a neutrality that happens. It's like staying neutral. Don't get plugged in. Don't get sucked in. So having this experience to know what it feels like, and I encourage you to take those two meditations, those two exercises, and really call upon it. It's in the sense memory. Everything we do becomes a part of the sense memory, and that you can call upon that. Ask for that to come forward in your memory, and it will.